And what's up, Heat Seekers? My name is Joe Otis from joeislit.com, and welcome to the debut of 2021 episode of Lit Picks. Today we got some NFL futures for you. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time, 7 months waiting for some football. We finally got college back, and the NFL is coming back next weekend. But Mike and I will get into it with you for some NFL future picks. We got some quarterback seasons, some wide receivers, some tight ends. We got 5 positions for you, including the running backs as well. We got some Super Bowl picks. And I'm also going to look into some underdog picks as well. And we also have some over-unders for wins. And at this time, I will bring to you again for the 3rd year in a row my co-host, the one and only Mike Costello. Mike, how's it going?
It's great. It's great to be back. I mean, it's phenomenal. I probably gained about 30 pounds since the last time we were on here 7 months. So, I'm interested in seeing what 2022 is going to bring for me when we start the season. But, I'm excited to be here.
I've probably put on about 200 pounds, but, we'll see. No, I'm just
consistent,
yeah, you got to get nice and beefy for the wintertime. But, hopefully to lose that over the course of the season, maybe get some walking in. It's some beautiful fall weather. It's the best time of the year. People love summertime, but I love the fall. I love the 70-degree weather. I love the leaves coming down. Now, they're not fun to rake the leaves, but I just love that feeling. You got football coming on Saturday for college and Sundays for the NFL. Prime time Thursday, Monday nights. Oh, I'm reinvigorated, man. I'm getting real excited right now. I'm gonna try to hold it in. So let's go to our fans here. Let's see. You got Joe's late. That's comical. You got the old men in here because they're the old men from the from like the Muppet Show. Statler and Waldorf. They're sitting in the balcony making their funny comments at us, and that'll be the last time you see the opening because next week we're gonna have a brand new season 3 opening, which I can't wait to present for you.
This is all new to me. This is great. See, I learned some new things too. All right. I wasn't asked to make a new, different little intro for it, so I'm expecting the same.
That's right. All right, let's get into it, guys. Enough of the delay. You guys have been waiting for a long time for this. It is the NFL futures and props for the 2021 NFL season here on Lit Chat. And once again, as I said before, we're going to do 5 over and under win totals. Player props for quarterback, 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and 1 tight end. And I'll get things started. I'm going to go first with the New England Patriots. I like the over here. Over 9.5 wins at plus 105. Now, they have a rookie quarterback going in. The news this week has been Cam Newton's been cut. Mac Jones is the starting quarterback. And with my draft assessment of Mac Jones, I said that if he was NFL Rookie of the Year, I would eat a ghost pepper live on the air. Now, will that come true? I had a really bad feeling it's going to come true because if Bill Belichick likes a quarterback, we saw what happened for 20 years with Tom Brady. Will it happen with Mac Jones? He led Alabama to a national championship. Can he bring that skill set from college to the NFL? I think there's a pretty good chance of me eating my words and eating that ghost pepper and making an ass of myself on the air. I like them getting over 9.5 wins. I think that the Patriots are back. I think that the Empire strikes back. Belichick's going to lead that team to the playoffs. They're going to win I actually think they're going to win the AFC East. That's my prediction. I don't think Belichick's going out without a fight. He saw Tom Brady win the Super Bowl last year, and I think that he wants to put his stamp on his legacy. I think that's coming this year. What do you think?
I kind of agree with you. I think I project them to have 10. I think their defense is back. I mean, they lost what? They had 2 or 3 players sit out last year.
Dante Hightower's back.
Yeah, they're back, and the defense can be a little bit different this year, and they played well last year. So I kind of agree with that one.
Let's go to the audience. All right. Was Cam Newton cut because of his COVID issues? What do you think of that, Mike?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I think they released him early so he can get on a team. I'm expecting. I mean, what team do you think he's going to go? I think he's going to go to the Cowboys, but
I think that's the projection. Texans. I think he'll go to the Texans, perhaps. I mean, he could go to the Cowboys and back up Dak. That would be a really good spot for him.
Yeah. Or he just sits out and waits to see what happens the first couple weeks.
That's true. I think he wants to play, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's a contender. He's a guy who he has a lot of fight in him. The guy's he's a number one overall pick. He's got a chip on his shoulder this year. He didn't do very well last year with New England, and it showed on the field. They missed the playoffs, and so we'll go from there. I like New England over 9.5 at plus 105. Mike, we're going to go with your first pick so far of the evening, and you're going to take the Green Bay Packers over 10 at minus 165. That's pretty high odds. I mean, that's pretty low. Low.
It
I'm not
is.
going to say high odds, low odds.
I stuck with this. So I actually had this locked in at 8.5. When everybody thought that, there was the uncertainty of Rodgers, and everybody knew that he was going to play. And I actually locked it in at 8.5, and then it climbed to 10. So luckily for me, I have 2 on there. But I mean, I have them projected as 11 with 11 wins. So as long as Rodgers stays healthy, I mean, the sky is the limit for this team. This is one of my. I think they're going to make it to the big game. I think they're gonna make it. So that's my prediction there.
I like how you use the big game so we don't get sued on here. Let's see. Looks like Bob is not a big Aaron Rodgers fan. Thinks he's a diva. And Pat's taking Bishop Sycamore to win the state title. How about that?
That was, yeah.
You guys should play Bishop Sycamore.
It almost happened, I thought.
No, it didn't. Look, we're wearing the same color shirt tonight. Did you pick that up?
I don't have many other shirts that make me look appropriate.
All right, so we're going with my next one, and the two of you and I, we have differing opinions on this. I think the NFC East is going to go to the Dallas Cowboys this year. I hate to say it. I like them over 9 wins at plus 100. I can see them going 12-5 this year. Dak's back, Zeke's back. I think he's going to come back in full force. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, they have great wide receivers there. I mean, their defense, it seems like there was some controversy there with Jalen Smith rumors of being traded at the end of last week. But I think the Cowboys, I like what I see on the field so far there, and I think they're going to go over 9 wins, and I think they're going to win the NFC East. What do you think?
So I actually like Washington to win the NFC East, and I mean, yeah, the offense is great, but there's 2 things that they have going against them. Their defense is not, and their head coach. And that's why I'm a firm believer here. And that's why I have actually gone opposite, and I've taken the under for them because I don't believe in McCarthy as the head coach. I actually have them projected at 7.5 wins. So that's under that 9. That's why I'm taking the Cowboys going under here. And I think Washington wins that division.
All right. So you like the football team over 8.5?
I do. And I mean, the best thing I think is if you think they're going to win the division is to take them because the odds are probably greater than getting the 8 and over 8.5. I have them projected for like 9 to 10. So really it's not, significant, but I think winning the division is going to be a 9 to 10 winner. I think it's going to be one of the worst divisions again in football, but I think with Fitzmagic there, their offense is really good. Their defense is also really good. They are playing a first place schedule, which is a little bit of a concern, but I think that there's going to be some magic in the making, and that's what's going to help them lead to the top.
Let's see. Will Mario make it to week 6 with the Spartans? That's an inside joke there, inside reference. I couldn't tell you that one.
I didn't know he was still there. I don't know.
I don't know either. All right. So now my next pick is going to be the New Orleans Saints. I like them under 9 at minus 120. This team reminds me of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2 years ago with Jameis Winston as their quarterback. I can see him throwing 5 interceptions. He has his LASIK, and so, I mean, he has his eyes fixed, so maybe that will help him. I don't see Jameis Winston improving this team very much. I think that they're going to feel the loss of Drew Brees, and Taysom Hill is the backup, which I give credit for Jameis Winston to going out there and pushing and winning that job. They still have a really good defense there. They have a great defensive line, with great defensive backs. It's just that I think that they're with this turnover, with this change in quarterback, I don't, and with the level of play with the Buccaneers in the same division, the Panthers have a have an excellent coach or a rising team. Maybe the Falcons. Everyone picks the Falcons to come back every year. They haven't been good the last few years. With a new coach and Arthur Smith, maybe they'll do something. I just think that the Saints are going to miss the playoffs this year, and I can see them going under 9 wins. What do you think?
I'm opposite. You know me. I love Winston. And I don't think he's going to throw them any. He does have Peyton coaching him now, which is, in my opinion, one of the best offensive coaches you have. I think this is, and I was telling you, before the show when we were talking, is that I actually was close to taking the Saints going to the conference championship because I think that they're good. Their defense is solid, and I think he's going to add extra help. If Michael Thomas does come back after week 6 or whatnot, I mean, I think the sky is the limit for this team. I think he's going to really help this offense move the football. He's going to push the ball downfield, something that they couldn't do last year. So I am actually on board. I think they go over in this one.
Cause loves Winston. He's right. Yep. He knows you love Winston.
He's the man.
Are you going to draft him in fantasy this year?
No. I'm only drafting one quarterback. There's no need to draft two.
All right. And then moving forward, we have the Indianapolis Colts. You like them under 9 at -120. You're not a big Carson Wentz fan, are you?
I mean, you've known that for however long, he's been on the team, obviously. And I was right. Thank you. I would just like to announce that. But no, it doesn't even have anything to do with him. It just has everything to do with what's going on as a whole. I only have them projected to win 7 games. You look at what's going on. He's already been hurt. He hasn't been practicing with the team. They've had COVID issues. Their line's been going down. You have Hilton out. It's a scramble for them. I just think that they're struggling. They have a very difficult schedule, and last year they pushed themselves through. I think the Titans have this division. I think that's another one. The Titans are the over. I didn't take that one, but I love that one. But yeah, I don't see them winning 9 games. I mean, do you disagree?
I think that the Colts are going to. I think they're going to win at least maybe 10 or 11. I like the over here. I think Jacksonville is still not where they want to be, even though they have a new coach and they got a new quarterback. Maybe next year or the year after they might actually be improving. The Titans, they have a really good running back. We all know Derrick Henry runs people over. He's like a freaking human battering ram, which comes big in November and December, and the Texans are garbage. So I think that the Colts, I think they very well could win that division. I think they can very well overtake the Titans this year.
They're off season. They're out of schedule games.
What are they? What's the out of schedule games?
They play the NFC West and they play the Bucks and all that. That's why I just don't see them doing this at all.
That's going to be a tough schedule. I see it.
Yeah.
But how well do you think the Titans will do against the NFC West? I mean, they got the same opponents.
I think the Titans are, I don't know. I like the Titans. I like their coaching too, but I don't know.
All right. On to our next game or our next team, next pick. And I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers over 10.5. It's pretty big. They got most of their team back. George Kittle was out for most of the season last year. Jimmy Garoppolo was out. He has Trey Lance, breathing down his neck, but he's been coming back. I mean, he's been fighting. And he's going to take that starting quarterback job into the season with Trey Lance having an injury to his finger. But the big news here, like I said, they're actually healthy again. And when they were healthy 2 years ago, they were in the Super Bowl. So that's why I like San Francisco here over 10.5. I can see them actually winning the West as a sleeper team. Everyone's picking the Rams as their favorite with Matthew Stafford as their quarterback, but I think it's going to be the 49ers this year. What do you think?
This is a tough division. I mean, you're looking at them. You like them. You get the Seahawks and the Rams. I mean, I think they are all teams. You look at it and you're like, man, they're all over. And then Arizona, you throw in there too. You can't forget about. It's just like I kind of agree with you here with the over. But I mean, the Niners defense was all hurt last year. They were injury plagued like the Eagles were. So now that they're back and they're healthy, I think this is a pretty good. I think it's a pretty good choice there. I like this one too.
Bounce back year for Niners. Snake will be happy when Dom called Belly. That's funny. Inside jokes there, but they make me laugh. All right. And let's see. The next one is the Denver Broncos over 8.5 at -150. So you're really thinking the Broncos are going to do good with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback?
This is my Costello pick. This is the one I'm probably most confident with. I would say this is the one that you should, if you're going to do anything, this is the one. Yes, I'm extremely confident with this. Denver is a very good defense. I don't think people realize that. I think they get slept on. They think about that. They are in the NFC, the AFC West. I don't think the Chargers are going to be as good as what they did last year. You have the Raiders, who you just never know what team's going to play. Yeah, there's the Chiefs, obviously, but Denver played them tough last year. And I think they could do it again this year, and they have a good running game. I do think Bridgewater is a very accurate quarterback. Last year, Denver was the highest, most inaccurate team with quarterback play. Now Teddy Bridgewater brings that actually where he's extremely accurate to you with the receivers such as Sutton, who's healthy, and Judy, who's healthy, and Fant. And I think this is a very good team. I have them winning. I have them winning about 10 games this year.
The thing that confused me about the Broncos is the running game. Though they have Melvin Gordon, who's a really good running back. I think he's good. But they also have the guy from North Carolina, Javonte Williams. Yeah. So he's their running back. He's probably going to get some carries as well.
Absolutely.
Philip Lindsay now off the team. He's with the Texans now. And another big thing is that they got their defense coming back next year. Von Miller is back. He's back after his injury, so hopefully he'll put some pressure on him. That can very well happen. Maybe the Broncos can very well shock the world and maybe make a playoff run out of it. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree. That's why this is probably one of my favorite ones.
This is a really good question from Pat. Who do you think will finish last in the NFC West?
It's the Cardinals. It's Arizona.
Cardinals.
Yeah. You look at their team. They got Watt. I understand that, but they're still an older makeup. I think that they're I think they're the last place team. I see the Rams winning over their 11 games. I see the Niners winning over 11 games. So it's either between Seattle and Arizona. And I don't know. I got to go with Pete Carroll there. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree with you. I do love Kyler Murray. We all know that. I don't think that Cliff Kingsbury is that great of a coach. You don't really understand how he got the Arizona job. And Pete Carroll, you can't bet against him. And we say that every single year, and he's always exactly right. He's always in the playoff hunt.
And they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, which is Russell. No question about it.
Will that offensive line hold up in Seattle? Is there finally going to be a year where they don't have what it takes to contend, and they have an off year? I don't think it's that this year is that year. That's why I think that they're still going to be contenders, Seattle. And yeah, I do agree with you. I think the Cardinals will finish in last place in the NFC West, but it's going to be a tough division.
Yeah, big time.
And I got a question. Do the people in Philly call him Bridgewater? Probably.
Water, yeah.
And Bob Ziegler doesn't like these diva quarterbacks, and he says Russell's a diva too. I like Russell Wilson. I think he's
I like him.
All right, now going back to the AFC West, though. Now, you said the Broncos over 8.5. You like the Broncos this year. I think that finally this is the year that Chucky brings the Raiders, slightly over the hump. 7 wins isn't that much. So I think that they're going to win over 7 games. Everyone says Derek Carr, and it's true. He shows it on the field. He is a very efficient quarterback. He hasn't been – he's an efficient quarterback, but he hasn't been exactly a elite quarterback. And it's been ever since that fateful game back in 2016 when he got injured on that quarterback sneak, and he had the Raiders as the top team in the AFC West that year, and they were the wild card team. I believe they ended up being the wild card team going to Houston and losing in the first round with Connor Cook as their quarterback that year, and the Raiders realized how important having a backup quarterback was then, which a lot of teams, and when you look at the Eagles, for example, like when they drafted Hurts in the second round, they realize that as well. But the Raiders for this year, I believe they're going to do their carriers. I believe they're going to be split this year. They're not really going with one person in the backfield. And yes, I do like the Raiders. I think they're finally going to get over the hump. They're going to have a wild crowd out in Allegiant Stadium, and I think the Raiders are going to be over 7 wins. What do you think?
I don't think so. I think they win 6 games. And listen, I'm just taking it from my experience. If I was on the Raiders and I was in Las Vegas, it would not be good for me. So I don't know. I think that's going to play a little bit of a part for things like that. And I just don't, they're such a hit or miss team. You just have no idea. And yeah, I think Gruden is kind of overrated. He hasn't really done much. I can't get a handle on this team. Like last year, they play against the Chiefs, and Did they beat them? They beat them, right? It was
They
on
beat
Monday
them
night.
one game,
They
yes.
beat them, and
It
then
was
the
a
next
night
week they
game.
come back and like lose to the Bengals. So like
Yeah.
it's a team I just don't understand that they're so inconsistent, and I don't like touching this team at all. I just don't know.
So they have Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake in the backfield.
I
with
think
Jalen
Jacobs is going
Shaw.
to lead the pack. I think he's going to be about 70%. I knew they paid Drake big money, but I think he's a third down kind of guy. I don't understand that signing. I still don't.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they really want to have extra legs in the backfield there, but I mean, Josh Jacobs is an excellent running back. I don't understand
Yeah.
why you would. Maybe they're looking to
But they
protect
didn't do anything to their
injuries.
line. They didn't like improve the line. Like, why
Yeah.
not? Like, that's what you need. And they didn't. I don't know. Frustrating.
Now is Chase Evans the top guy in Arizona?
Yes, he's going to be.
Wow. So Pat doesn't like him. He says he's overrated. The pumpkin pie haircut owner won't fire him even though he's mediocre. And he says the Raiders are a fraud. The Raiders disappoint you like when you showed up to their practice facility. Well, it wasn't their practice facility. It was like a town hall type facility where I had to go out and freeze my ass off in the cold that day. And there's the hammer. Says that's a reach on my chart. All right.
That'll be said a lot Sunday night.
That will be said a lot Sunday night. And for some reason, I got something loaded up in here where I can't get to my banners. All right. So you said the Dallas Cowboys under 9, and once again. Now we're going to go into our player props here. And this first one is going to be a player changing teams, which many people feel for this player's benefit. And the new Rams quarterback, Matt Stafford, I'm going to say he's over 4,595 and a half passing yards. That's at minus 130. Look, the talent on the Rams is way better than it was in the Lions. I like Matt Stafford here. I can see him definitely exceeding this by maybe 200 or 300 yards. The Rams, once again, they're a top team in the NFC West, and they have all the tools for Stafford to put this number over. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, McVay is one of the best offensive minds in football. There's no question about that. Stafford, I get the only knock on him is can he stay the whole season? And if he stays the whole season with ease, I think he passes that, especially, with the loss of Akers. I mean, that's just going to add to more of the passing game. So, yeah, I 100% agree with that one. That's a good one.
All right. And you like Sam Darnold over 39.50 and a half passing yards at minus 115.
I do. And here's my rationale to this. And people are going to criticize and say this, but you have to understand where Sam Darnold was playing and who he was playing for. Okay. One of the slowest teams in the Jets ran the least amount of plays. All right, in the NFL. So you have to understand that part too. And what Carolina did last year with Bridgewater at quarterback. I mean, he was a top finisher in a couple of weeks with passing. So they're going to throw it. And you look at who they have: Moore and Robbie Anderson, and McCaffrey's going to be back. I think this is a slam dunk. I mean, when I saw that, and I was like, he's not even going to go for 4,000 with an extra game. Give me him all day. I think this is a slam dunk.
And that reunion with Robbie Anderson is going to be really big for Sam Darnold.
Big time.
And especially with them getting Christian McCaffrey back. He catches a lot of balls out of the backfield. Should be the number 1 overall pick in the most fantasy leagues, if you can.
Oh, boy. Are you hinting something? Are you hinting something?
I'm not hinting anything. I'm not hinting
Okay.
Nothing. And I don't know if he's in here right now, but I'm not hinting nothing about him. But that's my opinion of who should be the top running back taken, whether he's injured or not. I mean, of course, whether he's not, you don't want him injured, as I just said, but whether he's coming off an injury or not. But definitely likes Sam Darnold. I think a lot of people like him as well. I can see a lot of whispers in league atmosphere where they like Sam Darnold getting a lot of passing yards here. So
you know how many I've had? So many. I have him as my number 3 in so many best ball leagues, and I think people just slept on. I was like, the other thing you have to understand too about him is, do you remember that run he did last year? Like, he runs too. Yeah. So he is like a legit, and he's not going to be drafted in any fantasy leagues, but he runs. He ran for that like 70-yard. Like, he can run too. Like, people don't realize that. I think this is huge. I think it was a great move for Carolina.
All right, and let's see what our Bob's a fan of your picks here. Let's see. Stafford is fantasy gold.
I agree.
What about when the Panthers trade for Deshaun Watson? I don't think that's happening.
That's not going to happen.
Plaxico Burrs. All right. Now we're moving on to running backs here. Now, I think that this guy, this is a guy here who I can definitely see him getting at least 1,000 yards, and that guy is Chris Carson. I thought they come over 1,500 rushing yard. It's not like it's 1,200 yards, and everyone says that the Seahawks have a pretty porous offensive line there. But I do like Chris Carson. I think he's a talent, and definitely if he's there in the third round for your fantasy leagues, you should take him. I'm going with him over 1,000 rushing yards. What do you think of that?
I like it. It's gutsy. I mean, I definitely he's like a sleeper that like he's not a sleeper, but like people like it's a love hate with him, and I like him. I think he's great with it. My concern is him is like I said, like his style of play is he's a violent runner. You know, like he is going to come at you and he's going to be contact, and it's the way he plays. Where is he going to miss? You know, he's always seems to do it. Is he going to miss 2 or 3 or 4 games? And if he misses 3 or 4 games, then he's going to have to get 70 to 80 yards per game. So I definitely think he can do it if he stays healthy. The sky is the limit for him. But my thing is with him is the concern about injury. But yeah, I like that, especially with the odds.
Yeah. Josh Allen to win MVP at 1,200. You're welcome.
Disagree. It's good odds. I think he's going to be on a down year. I mean, there's no way he's going to do what he did last year. The stats that he had and everything he had jumped enormously. He's going to come down a little bit. He just got paid. I don't think he's going to do what he did last year, but they're really good odds.
All right. And Mike, you like DeAndre Swift to get under 52.5 receptions.
Like I'm just going with all the hype, like all this hype about like Swift and all these different guys. Like he's a good player, and I know your love for him. We remember that whole entire clip last year. But my thing is, you know, look, he's good. He's really good. He can't stay healthy, and they have another player there by the name of Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is quite possibly one of the best pass blockers in the NFL as a running back. He's going to be their third down back. Who gets the most receptions on that team? Third down backs. So I think Jamal Williams is really going to play a major factor into this. And I don't think that he's going to catch 52.5 is a lot. That means he's going to be on the field for 70, 80% of those snaps. I don't see him getting 6 catches in a game. Is my math correct? You know, I'm terrible at math, but I don't see him getting six catches in a game at all. He's got to stay healthy. He might miss week 1. I'm under.
And that's the thing that we all have to consider here is because it's not 16 games anymore. It's 17 games. So
right.
It seems it's definitely a little different there, and that definitely has to be factored in. So, you know, 52.5 receptions, that might not be as many as it would seem before when there were 16 games. So it's definitely something we have to factor in. And let's go to our audience here. Let's see. Detroit is a mess. I'm starting Swift this week. That's funny. That's a funny one. Remember that?
I do remember that.
He's alluding to me forgetting that.
I was like, do I point it out? Do I stay quiet, or do I let you know that he's out? I don't know.
Mike loves dumpster diving in bad teams like Jags and Lions.
Smartest thing to do.
Jaguars will make the playoffs. Change my mind. Urban knows not how to lose. Yeah, okay. Joe Fizz says Kaz is bad at math.
That is true. I wonder if that test is still circulating the football locker room. My 0 out of was it 0 out of 50 or 0 out of 100 that I took in geometry.
All right. Moving forward, I like Aaron Jones getting over 9 rushing touchdowns right here. So as you said, Jamal Williams, I mean, that was his key backup last year. He's now on the Lions. I mean, Jones still has other running backs breathing down his neck there, but I look at him as the number 1 running back on Green Bay, and he's definitely going to get the goal line carries. I think that the Packers are going to score a lot of points this year, so what better way than to make a prop bet than bet that main running back who's going to be getting all those carries in the goal line. So I'm going with Aaron Jones over 9 rushing touchdowns. What do you think?
I think this is a tough one. You know, they did get rid of Jamal Williams, but they have Dillon, who is a big-time runner as well. You know, Rodgers in the red zone last year, his percentage was just ridiculous, and I don't think that's going to continue. I don't think that's going to continue either. So I do see that more. The big concern for this is that I believe David Bakhtiari has been put on the PUP list, and he's out for the first 6 weeks. That's a major concern for me. So that right there, I mean, I would shave maybe 1 or 2 off of there, just like I haven't shaved my beard. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I definitely think he's going to be legit. Like if you look at his numbers, actually, like he is a top fantasy back that gets treated like garbage. So yeah, I think that's a smart hedge right there.
All right. And you like Austin Eckler getting under 5.5 rushing touchdowns. I mean, who's their goal line running back there?
It's I can't think of his name right now. Olive Tree or something. Something with the they have him. I still think Justin Jackson's there, but look, I don't think he's an in between the tackle, kind of guy like that in the red zone. And there's so much hype going around about him. And like he's electric. He's a very, very, very good player. But if I see him, I think he's going to have a receiving touchdown, not rushing. So I'm projecting him to have 4, maybe 5 rushing touchdowns. Herbert runs the ball around the goal line as well. I do think he's going to get sniped a little bit, and they're going to bring a different guy in there. So I like this under 5.5.
I think Eckler could get 5 rushing touchdowns over 20 yards.
He could possibly do that. There's no question. He is that kind of guy, but I don't know. I just don't see it.
He is a small running back. He definitely is not a between the tackles.
I mean, he's good. He's
good.
really, really, really good. But with Herbert running the football, and I don't know. I don't see it happening.
All right. Now we're on to our wide receiver.
And just a note too. I mean, you think about this too. It's you never want to hope for injuries, but you look at it, and injuries are a part of the game. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? If players miss games and get hurt, you're going to hit. So. Yeah. It's probably safer to go under than it is over.
And he definitely did miss some games last year. And it's Justin Jackson and Larry Roundtree is the other running back there. So moving forward for me, I like CeeDee Lamb getting over 80.5 receptions at -120. I think he's taking over the number 1 guy in Dallas or over Amari Cooper. I like this guy. This guy is a stud receiver. And I do see him getting over 80.5. I can see him getting something like 95 to 100 because I think the Cowboys are going to need to be in every single game. So, barring any injury there, I think CeeDee Lamb is definitely going to get close to 100 receptions. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, I think he is the, you mentioned Cooper and they're just I don't know. You never know who to take there. But CeeDee Lamb, if there's any ceiling, that's the guy that you want because you have no idea. I mean, he can have 100 catches for 1,300 yards and 12. You have no idea what he can give you because, the talent's there. So I think that's pretty safe.
Men in the early 1900s did not shave their no spots.
Huh?
Must be from a comedy movie, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the movie.
And you like Antonio Brown over 700.5 receiving yards, which I do like as well.
Actually, I know this is going to go wrong. He is going to actually lead all receivers in Tampa. That's my prediction right there.
Whoa.
I think he's going to be the number 1 receiver in Tampa.
That's one lit pick there.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said? Whoa.
Yeah, whoa.
Let's see what we got here. I love watching the great receivers from the 2020 draft, and the Eagles have Jalen Reagor.
Hey, he looks better. We'll see what happens with that one.
All right. And for my tight end pick, I like Logan Thomas getting over 65.5 receptions at -115. Logan Thomas is an up-and-coming tight end. He could be one of the elite ones in the NFL within a year or two. This guy is a former quarterback. Now as a tight end. I mean, I remember when he played that game in Arizona back in 2014. And I'm pretty much amazed how this guy must have changed his career path and he became a tight end. He did what Tim Tebow couldn't do. And now he's one of those up and coming rising tight ends in the NFL. And I like him getting over 65.5 receptions with Fitzmagic throwing in the ball in Washington. What do you think?
So 2.5 weeks ago, I would have said you were crazy. Mm-hmm. A couple days ago, I would have agreed with you. And now I'm going back to, I don't know what to do with this. If there's one thing we know is Ryan Fitzpatrick likes to throw to who? Wide receivers. So this is tough for me, but Washington gave him the money. He's very good. I definitely think Fitz is going to utilize him. He utilized Gesicki down in Miami as more of that. So I'm starting to lean back onto, yes, I do believe he goes there, but I would have to tally back out the receptions because I don't have my spreadsheet up on how many receptions, I think that McLaurin's going to have and Samuel's going to have. So, I mean, and, with Gibson and, McKissick, that's a lot. that, it's going to happen, but I think it's very well, it could very well happen.
All right. Now, for your tight end pick, I think it looks like you got a guy that other people say is another up-and-coming tight end going under. That's Cole Kmet under 495.5 receiving yards. What do you think of that?
Yeah, there's just so much uncertainty in Chicago, and I just don't know. I think that they're going to kind of control the ball. I don't think they're going to really, if when Fields becomes the quarterback there, he's going to run it a lot more, which is going to mean less for the tight ends. And I just see, Allen Robinson, Mooney with a big bright spot. You're going to have, Montgomery. So those guys there, I don't know. I just don't see him having that 500 yards receiving because I don't see them utilizing the tight end as much. And they're going to use, double tight end sets there. I just think that's going to be a struggle for him.
And they still have Jimmy Graham, right?
I believe they do, actually. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Now moving forward to the conference winners, I like San Francisco and Kansas City. That's actually something we both agree on because you like Kansas City as well. I think that's a good value pick at plus 600 and KC plus 250. And you like KC and Green Bay. And look, they have equal odds right now, Green Bay and San Fran. So that's actually, I do agree with that. Last year was Tampa Bay. I think that looks like both you and I think Tampa Bay is going to take a step back this year. But they're still going to be a good team. I think have Tampa, but I like the value taking Green Bay and San Francisco, and we both agree that the Super Bowl champion will be the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that there's always that year where they make it there, and there's really no other team they win the Super Bowl, they make it the next year, maybe they lose, but there's no other team that's touching the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that they're going to win the Super Bowl. What do you think about the Chiefs?
I think there's no question. I think if Mahomes is there, they're definitely going to win the big game. But I just think, I don't see many people kind of dethroning them. Anything can happen, like I said. But yeah, I went with KC. I really have no idea, kind of how things kind of play out. But Mahomes he's incredible, and I just can't go against him. So that's why I stuck with them to win.
Now, do you remember about 4 years ago, you and I went to the horse race track and we put a bet on the Jacksonville Jaguars when they were maybe 1-2, and they ended up going on to make the AFC Championship game. So I'm wondering right now, is there any perhaps for the season
hot dog of the week?
Now I have the team futures up here. Now, is there any team that you think that has heavy odds that you would put money on? The Patriots are plus 3,500. I would do that. I would also probably put something on the football team because they're plus 5,000. I like.
What are the Browns?
The Browns are plus 1,600. So that's what, 16-1.
I like them.
Minnesota. So that's what, 50-1 for Minnesota.
I don't like them.
Washington's 50-1. The Steelers are 45-1.
I don't like them. I like the under on them. I'm trying to think of the teams that I have on the over. The Rams, the Niners.
Panthers, 90-1. That's what I would pick, probably the Panthers.
Yeah,
that's
Panthers
or Chicago. That's who I would pick for mine.
That's a good one.
Dogs. That's who I would pick, are teams that very well could, still make it to the, at least contend, and at least you're going to hedge off that ticket.
What was Seattle?
Seattle is plus 2,000. The Eagles are plus 10,000. So what do you think?
What I wanted to do? Listen, I was all about taking the under on the Eagles until they traded for Minshew, and then I was like, nope, they're going over because he's going to play.
Yeah. So how do you think the Eagles will do this year?
I said I had them going under 6.5. I didn't see it happening. With the line and the age of the line and everything, I just don't see them healthy. And I think that happens by week 6 or 7. I think he's going to start.
Injury, perhaps, yeah.
I'm a big Minshew guy.
Let's see. Pat says Fitzmagic isn't a full-time starter for a reason. He will throw a ton of picks.
He'll be fine.
Getting old. How will Hayden Hurst do this year?
He's backing up Pitts. I think he's still in Atlanta. So, I'm assuming he'll probably have like 20, 25 catches.
Yeah, not a guy you're going to pick early, though.
No, not this year. Not with Pitts there. That's different.
Pat likes the Rams to win the NFC and the Browns to win. Browns are a good pick.
They're good odds.
I like the Browns this year.
I like the Rams too. The Rams have a tougher schedule, but
Yeah.
I do. I mean, they're both pretty good.
I mean, the Browns had the Chiefs on the ropes last year in the AFC divisional playoff game. They were, I think, what was it? I know that they covered the spread. They had the ball going late in the game, and they very well could have took the lead. But
if Odell's healthy this year, I mean, it's a completely different team. I actually really like the Browns. It's good for Rose's dad, who's going to be very excited.
Hot dog pick. All right. Well, we're going to end this right now. I think it was a really good episode where we got back in the swing of things, and we're getting ready for the season next year. We'll be back next Friday with a slate of NFL Week 1 action there to discuss.
I'm excited for the new intro. Apparently,
I got to work on that.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I know nothing of it. This is all new to me. So,
anything else from the audience, folks?
Now, is there any other? Because I am terrible at tech. I know nothing about it. So I literally just click a button, and half the time it barely even works for me. And I have to go on the iPad. So is there any new graphics or anything that you get? Am I going to be surprised by anything?
I'll try to see if I can figure something out with the new graphics.
Yeah.
I was having problems. The reason why we were on here late was because I was having problems with Facebook getting actually getting the broadcast to work on there. So I got that figured out, and we'll be back ready next week, ready to go. All right, guys, this is the episode for this week. It was fun getting back in action. And until next time, everybody, Mike,
stay lit.
Stay lit. Goodbye.